Now, this is absolutely amazing to me. The freak out, the absolute chaos in people's heads over not only the Donald Trump election, but some of the key positions that he's making announcements for. Now, before we get into this, if you want to help out the channel, get on over to ClydeDoSomething.com. We are brewing something. That's right. I make coffee. I have coffee every morning with you guys while I'm doing these videos. And we're making mugs and coffee available over on the store. The link is in the description down below. I'm personally involved in the roasting process for this coffee. It's not just some dropship product. Get on over in the description and get yourself some of that coffee and enjoy some with me while you're watching these videos. Now let's get into the video. Some of the reactions of the key positions that Trump has picked for his cabinet, but also other government agencies, even new agencies that he's bringing about. I love it. The agencies to get rid of agencies. It's beautiful, but the reaction is incredible to me, especially even on the Canadian side. Here we have some rando on Twitter saying the GOP trifecta assumes power in just a few months. They will pass laws, and those laws will be terrible, and they will cast long shadows. And he's showing a picture of Canada and people living in trash cans. Well, I hate to break it to you, but here's Canada and people living in trash cans. This is the way Canada looks, and it's not because of Donald Trump. It's not because of the picks he's had for his cabinet, key positions. No, it's because of, well, we've been ruled over by the Liberals for 9 long years. It wasn't like this before the Liberals came in. It is like this now. But hey, you want to make your complaints over there. Now, a lot of complaints have been, there are some legitimate complaints, and I'm a fan of this guy. Tom Homan is really going to do a great job, but there are some negative consequences to what he's doing.
As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now.
And they are, and I say negative consequences, not for Americans. Let me tell you, the negative consequences stem from what Joe Biden did, of course, but it's going to roll over onto Canada because, well, this is the reality of the situation. A lot of those people are packing up and they're heading up towards Canada. Why? Because why would they go to Mexico? Nothing's promised for them. They're heading towards Canada, where we have promised hotel rooms and all this other stuff for people, not the people who've been paying taxes in this country forever, but, for migrants. That's right. Bratney on Twitter saying the most powerful man in the world is about to deport the largest amount of people in history to the largest unmanned border on Earth. Canadians aren't ready. So this is a legitimate criticism of something that, we should be doing something about. But hey, here's where it starts getting nutty. And this is Andrew Coyne. Andrew Coyne, of all people, losing his mind. He's been losing his mind over this for the past several weeks now. It's crazy. It's unbelievable to me. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, and it's really blowing up in Canada. Amazingly. This is an emergency, he says. The key posts in the government of the United States are responsible for the safety and security of not just the U.S., but the democratic world at a time of maximum international peril, are now in the hands of some of the most dangerously incompetent, corrupt, and fanatical people on the face of the earth. Well, you know what? We've been in peril. We've been in peril globally. And I'll tell you what, this is crazy to me. No complaints over, let's back it up one step. We were told that it was going to be World War III if Donald Trump gets elected. He gets elected. It's the most peace we've seen out of a U.S. president in generations. They get rid of Trump for Biden, and it's like World War III. And now we're getting rid of Biden for Trump again, and they're saying that we're tired of it. We're tired of hearing of it because it's not happening. Now, of course, complaining about the democratic world, not realizing, yes, the democratic world, Andrew, democracy has spoken. I, for one, am pretty thrilled about the recent posts. This is really good. But this is Andrew Coyne. writer for Globe and Mail, also a contributor to the CBC all the time. He's over on there a lot, but let's not forget that the CBC has lost their minds too. Who's one of the contributors that they brought on recently? Wyatt Claypool pointing out this guy, that's right, Hassan Piker, has been invited onto the CBC. Why is CBC having on the America Deserved 9/11 guy who made disgusting remarks about being happy that Dan Crenshaw was blinded by a roadside mine in Afghanistan? Hassan Piker is openly pro-Hamas and has pushed a boatload of amounts of pro-terror misinformation online. But please keep having on Cenk Uyghur's nephew on the CBC in the future to ensure that Pierre Poilievre defunds you guys 100% on day one as prime minister. But it continues. This is another great take. I love this one. So this is in response to Elon Musk talking about 99 federal agencies is more than enough. So there are 248 federal agencies in the United States, and he's been, given the job of head of DOGE along with Vivek Ramaswamy, DOGE being the Department of Government Efficiency. So he's going to be in charge of basically firing people in government agencies. This is great. But this brilliant take, this smooth brain take here, this is like watching an amateur house flipper tear down a load bearing wall. Okay, so that's great. That's great. Looking down on Elon Musk, that's fantastic. You're just gonna look down on him. He's because you're his intellectual superior, I assume, in this way. I'm really having fun watching these well-rounded individuals talk about how arguably the Earth's most successful human being ever won't be capable of finding government efficiencies or of inefficiencies in government. This is insane. I mean, you know what? He should just go back to, I don't know, building rockets that land themselves or something. It's amazing to me how just amazing the takes are of this. But, Elon Musk recently became, known as the person who paid the most amount of taxes in the world. Yeah, that's right. Most amount of taxes ever.
I'm the largest individual taxpayer in history. So I paid $10 billion in tax, over $10 billion in tax. You're welcome. I sort of thought maybe the IRS would send me like a little trophy or something.
Obviously, but no, he got nothing for that. He gets nothing from all these people that claim that rich people should pay more taxes so that they could go to their, the charities of their choosing. It's not really charity when you're advocating other people pay for that charity. That's my opinion. Leave yours in the comments down below. Of course, moving on, Chris Pavlovski, who's the CEO of Rumble. You guys, many of you telling me to go over to Rumble. He says we need Doge in Canada. Pierre Poilievre, we should be taking notes from Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'll be willing to help. So that would be great. That would be great to see some of that here in Canada. Now, also the mainstream media freaking out. This is Joy Reid, the well-known race peddler on on television, having a freak out about another one of the picks.
The former and future president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet before he changes his mind and fires them all. Moments ago, Trump announced that he has selected Fox Weekend morning show host, you can't make this up, Pete Hegseth, to serve as Secretary of Defense, because why not?
Yeah, why not? In fact, this guy points this out. Great Cron on Twitter. Let's give him a follow. Before you start freaking out about Pete Hegseth, let me educate you. Pete has a bachelor's from Princeton, a master's from Harvard, 2 Bronze Stars, and was a major in the Army National Guard. He has served in both Iraq and Afghanistan, has a CIB, and listen to this.
The Pentagon is in the book, the exact amount of years, but in the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time inside the Pentagon war games. We know what our real capability. You see, we didn't even get to this part of the war on warriors. I mean, the military-industrial complex, the way we procure weapon systems, we're always, the way our system works, the way our bureaucratic system works, where the speed of weapons procurement works, we're always a decade behind in fighting the last war. Whereas China, we have, what did Rumsfeld say? You go to the war to the army you have. We have the army. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America.
This is the kind of guy you want to listen to, not what has been in power. But let's move on. I like this pick. Let's just say I like this pick. They don't like the pick, but I do. This meme went out. This is a great one. United States memes are, hey, you get a follow too. Trump's cabinet got me like Tom Homan, border czar. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Elon Vivek, Department of Government Efficiency. What? Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. Wow, this is great. Matt Gaetz, famous for having said this bit.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Be offended. That's great. It turns out, this is just a nomination, so it'll be really up, I think, to the Senate to make the decision on whether he gets the job or not. I hope he does, because I think that's just hilarious. But there's a bunch of other picks. This is for sure. We'll see how this all goes. I'm not a fan of all of them. Marco Rubio, we could probably keep our eye on that guy. But hey, a lot of these are fantastic picks, and I don't have any problems. But of course, there are people with many problems, including our own government. And Krista Freeland pointing out here that she says that even though Canadians don't share the same views as Donald Trump, the Liberals are committed to building on a positive relationship established back in 2016. Before they ruined our country. You think Donald Trump wants to? You guys are the incumbents. You're on your way out, and the U.S. and Canada, the voters in Canada are waiting for you to leave. But hey, I had to speed this one up because she talks to people like they're toddlers. So this is the only way it's palatable.
So I don't think it should be any surprise. The reality is that our government, and indeed many Canadians, have views that are different from the views of many members of the incoming Trump administration. That in no way needs to, nor will it impede having a practical, respectful, and effective relationship between the two countries. And we know that's the case because that was the case in the past. Today, that is more true than ever, because the economic relationship between Canada and the United States is today governed by a trade agreement that was negotiated by President Trump himself.
Yeah, and back then he called him two-faced. He called Trudeau two-faced because he'll speak to you one way and then he turns around to the media and he speaks another way. That's the reality of the situation we have in Canada. That's the reality of the picks and the freakouts of what's going on. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Otherwise, we'll see you tonight in the live stream every Friday at 9:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Pacific. That's when we do the live stream. So we'll see you in there at that time. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. Keep on trucking.